We're going to look at parenthetical documentation. It's going to be the MLA version. There are different versions of it, but for middle school and high school, you need to look at MLA. And pretty much what it is giving credit to the author when you're using text evidence to support an argument. It's a fairly easy process, but I want to make sure that you know how to do it. Step one, of course, is choosing your quote. You want to make sure that the evidence that you pull really supports your thesis and really supports your argument. So we are choosing a quote from The Hunger Games. Now, one thing that students are sometimes confused about is they think that when I say quote, it needs to be someone talking. That's not necessarily true. It can be that, but it can also be narrative. Here we have a quote from Hunger Games, and this is narrative. This is text of what Katniss is thinking and as she's reasoning when she's making decisions. So text evidence does not always have to be a quote from somebody talking. Of course, when you're looking at the quote, it is missing many things to properly use it in a paper. So step 2 is fairly simple. It is using punctuation marks. And if you look, you can see it goes at the beginning of the quote and the end of the quote. Very simple. Now the only difference is if you're using ellipsis, and it's really not a difference, and that's the dot, dot, dot. If you only want to use part of a quote, let's say you don't want to use the beginning but just the end, you would put the dot, 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 and your quotation mark would still go at the beginning of the dot, dot, dot. So step 3 is giving credit back to the author. So you'll have your quotation marks, and then you will have an open parentheses, and you will put the author's last name, and then the most important part is the page number, close parentheses. Now here's the deal. With having iPads and, actual books and all these different ways that you can download the book, just go ahead and put the page number, even if it is 3,272 because it's on your Kindle. You need to open parentheses, put the author's last name, and then the page number. Last but not least is going to be your end punctuation, and this is the last step. So you'll have your author's last name, and I don't know if y'all noticed, but there is a mistake here, and what I'm missing right here is the page number. So you would have the page number, close your parentheses, and then you would have your punctuation. Now, it can be a period, it could be a question mark, whatever it is to end that quote, that's what you're going to put there. So, this is how you parenthetically document any quotes that you use in research, in projects, in papers. You make sure to have the quotation marks. You have to, after the quotation mark, you put open parentheses, author's last name, the page number in parentheses, and then you have your punctuation at the end.